And that this one was supported. I didn't want a supported one.
It'll take a second.
Yeah.
So family, what is the objectives here and what are we using to do it? Who wants to go first?
Well, Anthony's going to say what we're using to do it. The objective is to create our storybooks of our childhood.
And how are we doing that, Anthony?
We're using generative AI, in this case, a program called ChatGPT, provided by a company called Open Source AI. By the time you kids understand this, you will have lived with it your entire lives, and it'll be like a telephone.
But we're just learning.
But we're just figuring it out right now.
That's right.
And the funny thing
And
about here,
great Uncle
this is the
Anthony is
font that
teaching
we
us.
used.
It's making images
Look
out
in
of
the
memories
background.
just like
There's
that.
A gooseneck modern, a modern one. I didn't like that.
They're gonna have full movies just like that, so they think this is charming.
Yeah.
This will be charming in 10 years from now.
Right.
This is the sawdust pile and the sawmill. This is Russ chopping wood. It's Lady, our husky. That's us picking blueberries
With the bear?
with the bear standing up in the background. Isn't that cute? I liked that one. Was one of my favorite. This is the moose.
Oh, that's
with
great.
Okay, so I'm gonna crop it or redo it, but it's see, it looks like a lion. It's an old moose, and there's the clothesline, and it's.
And it finally got the clothes in its
And
antlers.
there's the
Took
husky.
5 times to get it to do that.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Actually.
We did frog races. We do little frog races.
Yeah, that's the
And
one
I-
we started on, and it'll make
I
it
was
go away.
just doing ideas that I didn't want to forget. I wanted, these were things, and I said, Anthony, what do you remember? And he was remembering being in the hot tub with mosquitoes all over him. So that's the mosquitoes.
So yeah, the concept is get the book together in its roughest form. Just
Yeah,
get it in there. It's not going to be perfect, and then you refine each.
that's just the mosquitoes coming at the screen. Anthony's mosquitoes that were on his back at the hot tub. And this was clam digging. On the beach in front of the house. I liked the little white caps back there on the beach. I had a hard time getting some good beach photos. That's the glacier. We lived right outside LeConte Glacier, and I thought that would be
That's
a
amazing.
good one. I might
Yeah,
play
this
with
is
that.
gonna be a fun book.
Yeah, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
That's Anthony, remember? Totem poles.
Ooh,
Oh,
I
yeah.
like that.
That's gonna
So
be.
that was a pretty one.
Who's the dog?
And the husky. It's just a husky shot. Lady was an all white husky. That was ours, but they made that one. I really like that one. That's chasing crab on the beach. We used to go down, and I had to say Dungeness crab. Otherwise, they gave me like the little lobster-looking crabs.
I like how they like the water's out.
Yeah,
The-
yeah. Well, you have to tell
The
them.
AI did all that.
Yeah, yeah. We just
And,
kept.
that,
And if you don't like what you see, you just give it an adjustment, and
Yes.
it'll go the other way.
that's absolutely
And this
amazing.
one, I liked. I wanted a beach picture, and that looked like a bear dog or something. I didn't want that in there. And at the time I did this, then I had timed out, and they wouldn't remove that little dog thing there. I was going to say take the dog away and replace it with the baby seal because we had a baby seal. But then they said you're out of time. You'll have to.
Or do it in the style of Van Gogh or,
Yeah.
or
So
oil
this-
painting.
this-
Say early Disney animation,
Yeah.
and it will change it to
Right.
the hand-celled colored version instead of the Pixar animation.
Yeah.
Oh, I like Pixar.
Yeah. I will go in and tell them that I want 2 shovels, but then they kind of change the background. So
You
I
could
just,
fill it in. I
yeah,
guess.
do something like that because
Or you could leave it.
I really like the white caps back there on the beach. But all of
That's
the,
amazing.
Isn't
I
that
like
amazing?
that. Yeah.
I like that. But all of the mountains look like the Alps.
Make that run right, because if you just go over it, it's going to start over,
Right.
and you might hit it
Yeah.
over time.
Right.
But if you're 95%
Yeah.
there and it's just take out this little thing over
Right.
here, you can go into Photoshop, circle it, and say, in
Where's-
generative
I
AI,
had the outhouse.
get rid of this,
Where
or-
was the outhouse?
this is kind of what the whole session
Yeah.
looked like. Like
Yeah.
that one was off the bat. That one was good, but she wanted a crescent moon.
So what's okay? So
So we did that.
Let's go to the format and quality.
Mhm.
What is it?
By default, it's a 1-to-1 ratio, so it's square. You can tell it, do 16 by 9 or 9 by 16 if you want vertical or horizontal. In terms of the
4K?
image, well, if you want to upscale it, you could ask for an upscaled version. I'm not familiar with the upscaling here, but I'm sure you could probably do it. I would take it into a different program, like an upscaler. I just haven't done it here because I'd use other tools. So that was the moose, but it didn't have the stuff tangled in its horns. So we tried it again, but the dog was in
Where's the
front.
saddest
So now we had to put the
Yeah,
dog in
that
behind,
looks
and
like
it's
it.
getting
Yeah,
closer. And
I know. I
didn't have mountains in the
get
back,
that
so let's put
small.
That
mountains
is
in the back.
fun.
The dog is in
I did
front.
like that.
So
There's
try it again, and then there was like dog back, Trees in the bag.
There's our blueberry.
Yeah,
The moose
I
with
saw
the
those.
horns.
That's fun.
Tangled
Where's
in the
that
bag.
one?
I have not
So it's an
seen that.
exercise in like
Oh, yeah, I
being
did
really
that.
concise in your
I
description.
remember now. I did.
Because it takes you
There's the
literally,
frog
and
one.
anything
You
that you
saw
leave
that.
as a
I
gap,
don't think
it's going
so.
to fill in
There's
with
the
its.
bear.
I haven't seen
Sort of
that.
There's the
imagination.
bear with the
Yeah.
ice
She
box.
didn't show that one.
That's the ice
Yeah, I
ball?
don't think she wanted to use this
There's the
ultimately,
pump.
but
Wow.
it's a good shot.
There's the.
It was like, what was it about that first crab pot picture you didn't like? They weren't square, or they were not
Yeah,
circle?
I didn't, I wanted a round crab pot.
They are round.
And what were y'all digging? Clams?
That might have been part
Clams,
two.
but I wanted a shovel, not that thing.
I don't know
Well, I
what
thought
she didn't like about
clams,
that.
people.
And
Make
they
it a
did-
shack
they
then.
did the
Just call it
bottom
something
part, but
different
they still put a
because
second
It's
story on.
understanding a sawmill that
But
looks
do you
like
have
this.
a picture of
But they're
your
cool,
old-
right?
Um,
And if
Black
you're
and
if you're
white
going to
or
allow for
something.
artistic
Yeah,
difference, that would work fine. But she was going for historical accuracy.
yeah, and they did the fisherman, but that looked too New England. I mean, it's cute, but it,
Yeah, so that's
and then they put Nemo
Oh,
in there.
whoops, we don't need that.
Extra boot,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and then a boat without the back,
yeah,
yeah,
which is weird.
yeah.
So tell me again, if it creates something, how do you manipulate it to be more specific?
Well,
Well,
you
the
act
whole
like it's a
dialogue is
person,
in
and
there.
you
He's
have a
got that.
conversation with the
All
artist.
right, you just talk to them,
Yeah.
huh?
I thought that was actually cute, but the little thing is too big. But then I thought, kids magnify things in their minds, so maybe having it too big is
It's
more.
a fish story, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
right, it is.
Quite literally.
Wow.
And
Really
that,
impressive.
I wanted crabgrass with crabs, but see, that was more like little lobsters, and that wasn't crabgrass, it was like
Oh,
tons
Whoops.
of grass.
nice. I'm absolutely amazed. So I have to get GPT-4.
Yeah.
So my concern would be scaling the pictures and stuff like that. But there's upscalers, so
Yeah, yeah.
so I really don't have to worry about.
Well, the books that I saw, you have 8x8s, you can do a square.
I would just be as you go in, figure out like, is it going to be a vertical cut or a horizontal, or if it's square, do you want to just punch in on those little parts
So what's
of the
what's
image?
the most common children book size? 8x8? I would think so. Because most time I see them.
8x8 is a good size, and then
So if you
there's
square
the
your
choice of
phone.
hardcover.
Yeah, I mean, for a child, that's a big book.
Yeah. If you get close and you're like, it'd be great if it wasn't just for that little mouse over there.
Yeah.
Stop, and we'll take that into Photoshop and just circle it and say replace that with the background, and we'll take it out.
It's like your imagination coming to life. You imagine something and then you see it better than even you remembered it. So
And it's not programming language. You're just talking to an
yeah,
entity
just
that's
talking to it.
understanding you and creating what you want based on what you're saying to it. Page is long. You just say make it in that dimension, and
Is
it'll
that like
crank it
8
out.
by 10 or what?
8.5 by 11.
Is that one of your books?
I like the square.
Or you might want
Yeah.
to do vertical 16 by 9 so that you can put it up on a square page and then have a room on the bottom.
I would do that in the opposite
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's try that.
Yeah.
So we'll say,
landscape.
great, now let's try landscape mode where it's more 11 by 8.5. So there's the up-down version, which we call vertical in the business. This will be horizontal or landscape. So it'll be side to side. By default, it uses a square format.
Okay.
So we're just telling what we want in plain language. Oh,
$150.
There it is. Boop.
There it is. Nice.
So,
Okay,
what
let me see.
tier
They
is that,
took
do you
out that
know?
dog. That's
Yeah,
a
we just had
better
to redo
one.
it.
Cool.
I know, but I
So,
didn't ask
do you
them
know
to take
what
the dog
refrigerant
out, and they
uses? 'Cause they're
redid
kind
it.
of changing
Did they
from,
get it better?
from 410 to something else.
Did it
They
work?
put the dog up on the dock,
Oh.
but that's better. I mean, I like it better.
Yeah.
I think
replaced,
it-
R22.
It picked up the language in it
From the previous
the-
prompts
from-
when you were
from
talking
the
about
previous one.
huskies and
We
dogs.
still got 22.
That's awesome.
Mom said,
It's a huge.
okay, I want a flat sandy gray area next to a rustic slough
Probably
and a
more
dock
than,
with 2 children, a baby, and a tricycle, trees in the background.
Most homes, it's the largest.
And that was the first
user of
version?
energy.
And then
I don't know, I bet those heat pumps
take out
take
the
a lot
animals
of
in the
power.
They
background,
do.
the dogs. Oh, you should have said take out the dogs specifically. Just by comma the dogs,
Oh,
it,
yeah.
it,
Well,
it
it's
just
okay.
reinforced.
Okay, I'd like a rustic bunkhouse with 2 sets of bunk beds
They
on
said it
either
was
side
all
of the
on
wall
Freon
with 2 kids
began with,
in each bunk.
It was over.
It tries to track the conversation kind of in its
I'm glad it
context,
did,
Okay.
because
but after a
they
couple
said
hours
in
it'll
the
forget
summer-
where you
There,
started.
that's
Oh, well, it
perfect.
is inside.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's perfect. Yeah.
Well, let me see.
And it takes a lot
Cute.
longer to
So
get somebody
there's
out,
4.
and
Did you
they
say
charge
4
more.
kids?
Well, I'm sure.
Because
Well,
I thought you
that's
said
good.
2.
So-
I said 2 to each bunk,
I
but
would
that's
take
real
that.
cute. I
Okay.
like that. Yeah.
So who are all these kids?
Oh,
Well, that
I
would
just
be,
change it out myself.
Me and
Okay.
Linda
I
and
used
Mark
to do that for years.
and
Oh.
Russ. We'll do
Well,
that.
then,
Oh, does it look
Yeah, you
accurate?
can buy
Yeah,
that stuff
yeah, that
online,
looks
which when
looks
I was-
rustic.
the Restore
Actually, there's
has,
another set of
like,
bunk beds back
brand new
there, and when
stuff
we had
sometimes.
company,
Room for
we
more.
had
You
other
can buy it
kids.
online.
Yeah, we did have
Oh, yeah.
company.
My heater
So I would
in
save that
Moab,
one.
I bought it
That's
online
great.
for $650.
Well, that was fast.
Brand
Yeah,
new
it's
from
faster than you think.
Goodman
Yeah.
and carried that
It's the
thing.
speed of a conversation.
Yeah.
What do you remember that we need
But-
to put in the Alaska?
Oh, well.
Here's our
The-
double
So you have
bunk.
a
Oh,
break-
yeah, I wanna
you have
say
a
one.
grazing-
I got one. My
Oh,
memories.
Okay, let me
Okay.
turn on the microphone.
Since I'm gonna do
Okay,
pictures.
talk.
A bear
That's-
swimming
GPT-4 is
across
the
a
only one that
river
will do
and a
dolly-
family
the dolly,
looking at it
which
in
is
a
the
boat.
Picture capability.
Oh, okay, so I have to do that.
And you get this can search
Maybe
for-
should have
Upload
said
it.
from a
This
boat.
can't
We'll
search
see what
for
it
This is
does.
locked
Yeah,
in.
yeah.
This is exciting, but I can
This is
tell
real
I'd
time,
be,
does the
like,
artwork.
I'd be wanting to punch that computer. Chili is the IT girl here.
Well, you're also not looking at it like we are.
And then
You're
when we
sitting
get
over there
this
watching.
I like
Look
to
at
see
you.
the pictures that y'all have done, but
Okay, here it is.
Oh, there
I
it
can't
is.
tell. I
Aw.
would not have the patience to.
Hey. Let me
There's
see.
2
Hold still.
scenes,
Hold
so you
still.
pick the one you like, or you do the one that you want.
Okay, so it's not quite right because I want them
No.
swimming.
Okay, that with a narrow river, yeah.
We need it. Okay, do it again.
A bear swimming
Alright.
in a river with sandbars
look at
and
your,
trees around, with
Gmail?
flowers on the
Okay,
sandbar,
Let's get your phone. Let's hook
and
that up on your phone.
mountains around, and a small boat with 2 children.
Apple Store.
So you have how long to experiment with the same
I think 3 hours on the
3
same
hours
sitting.
on the same
Well, I
sitting?
did
Subject?
20 pictures, so I got about 20 done in the,
In
Let's
3
log you
hours?
out and log you back in.
yeah.
Okay.
'Cause it
Okay,
might
here we
need to
go.
Just realize that
See.
we're now. Do with
That
Google
doesn't
or
look like
without that?
Alaska anymore. Really.
Actually, I like
Does it?
that one because it's like going we'd go up sloughs and we'd see,
But you're stuck on a sandbar.
How do you know?
oh, stuck on a sandbar
looks
there,
like
aren't
you're
we?
stuck.
Yeah,
No, that's Google.
we are, but
That's funny.
there's a bear right
Oh, this is
there.
Google?
Yeah,
We don't want a bear in the
We
boat.
don't
What
want a
the heck?
bear in the boat, but that's really a pretty one.
It's nice. It's like different.
Yeah,
It's still not what's in my mind.
no, it's not in your mind, but I'm gonna save that one. I would play with
You
it
would
and
do
take,
that?
and I would take the bear out of the boat and maybe take the sandbar away.
So you can save one and then bring it back in later?
Yeah, you bring it back and edit it. Isn't that colorful? Oh, that looks like Half Dome.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Website.
Okay.
Is
Now
it
it's
marked
closer to
in?
what I'm
Yeah,
thinking.
yeah.
Start
But I
there.
still want to just see the bear's head,
Right.
swimming, not
Uh-huh.
not like shallow water. But that's
That's closer.
kind of close.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look how big that bear is.
that's fun.
I'll just drag
Okay.
it on my.
And the
Yeah, I think that
colors
would be
are
good.
right too.
Yeah.
The very last one.
Okay.
Alright, so, come on.
What are you guys
Okay,
working on?
I like
Getting
that.
this accessible.
I want a
across all
bear in a
platforms.
large body of water, and children, 2 children in a boat with 1 adult. I only want to see the head of the bear
Swimming in deep water.
in deep water.
There you go.
And it treats every subject as its own kind of thread. So I try to keep them apart because if you just try to cram things in one session, it starts to forget what you're doing. It homogenizes everything.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so
Okay.
if you start a new one, which you could say starting a new chat.
So where's that?
Well, if you start one with this, how can I help you today? It'll figure out what you're trying to do and then it'll list it up there. So if you say, what is the purpose of this? Like, this is what I would need you to be for me. So I need you to be an illustrator for
better.
a children's book in
It
the
needs to
style
be
of
swimming
Pixar
towards you.
animation.
Yeah, towards, right?
Yeah.
So see if you can get it to swim
Flip
towards us.
around. He's swimming alongside the boats. Thank you.
Do you have to say thank
them.
you?
I have to say thank you.
You
Well,
do?
if you give it positive reinforcement, it keeps the things that you like and it
Yeah.
remembers that. What's the first? And then go ahead. Oh yeah. Okay. So then, do you want it to come up with an image for each one of these paragraphs?
Right.
We'll just cut and paste. We can say, I'm going to put in a children's book, and what I want you to do is give me an image for every single paragraph.
Yeah, no,
and then you can
that's,
say,
that's not
tell it
it.
what you're going to do. I'm going to paste in text, and based off of that text, I want you to generate an image. Tell
the
it
bear
you're going to give it a
swimming
paragraph of
its
text,
head
and based
above
off of
water.
that.
Anything
Okay,
else?
now you paste. Now it understands the context. Until you see a generating picture, it's kind of just taking that in consideration. Say, give me a picture based off of that.
It thanked
For
me
that
for
text.
thanking it. I'm glad to hear you enjoyed the scene. It sounded like a combination, yada yada, really brought to moment the life, the style you were looking for.
Aw.
If there's
Oh, you know
anything
what?
else we would like to create or adjust, feel
We're in
free
the
to
wrong
let
one.
me know.
Sorry.
That's because I said thank you.
Yeah, that's one of the key learnings. Switch to 4 as soon as possible. Let me get it back up to speed. And I think the text is still in the buffer. That's the difference between 3.5 and 4 is like, it'll be like, what do you mean?
Right.
Okay, you are.
Only the modification of the bear with its head, nose, and head above water. Thank you.
Positive reinforcement.
That's so funny.
Well, it adds a lot more text. They respond a lot more.
So you guys are working on the laptop because Chuck has text that he wants to incorporate.
Let's just gonna need your cut and paste for him because it's already on here.
Okay.
And you can, like, these clip, if you wanted to put, like when we did your photo,
Yeah.
you would just attach a file. That file would be your photo. You can also do that on the phone, but like it's all in one operation.
Very
here.
nice. I see.
Well, I like this, but it's the head, it's the same thing. The head's in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
But I think we could live with that.
Yeah, and it's also standing in the water instead of swimming.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be that high up, and his head looks.
I'm gonna say we will
He's
go
standing in
rounds.
Yeah.
shallow water.
Yeah.
The
But that's
picture
fun, and I like the look. I definitely
I do
like the
like the
look.
look, yeah.
It's good to
Yeah, I like that.
move on. At which point I will give you a new block of text or
Wow,
a
that's
new
cool.
image. It's just setting expectations, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's really neat. See, part of this is learning how to communicate with it.
Yeah, here's
I
the
know,
first
I had
one.
a lot of fun doing this.
Yeah, it's not like anything before, so it's not a search engine, it's like an entity.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a genie. You got
It's a genie, it really is.
I think that was probably the
I
best
want a picture
description
of an
I've heard.
old-fashioned kitchen with an old wood-burning cook stove with cast iron pots on top of the
Let's see if it
stove.
got right off the bat, if it understands the assignment. Letting you know it understands the assignment. There it goes.
Oh, there you go. It's creating an image.
It just
Okay.
thought about, like, okay,
All
let me
right.
make sure I understood you. Is this what you're after? Just so we're on the same page? Yes?
Oh.
Okay, I'm gonna make that picture for you now.
Oh, yeah.
Here's my old-fashioned
Alright.
cook stove.
Oh, yeah,
Love that.
Isn't that good?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Except for I want it to be white. I want the stove to be white with the, or I think it actually was white with turquoise. It was the old-fashioned.
And so this is telling you kind of the things that it's gonna be
Sure,
using in its
sure.
composition. So if you disagree, like, I don't want golden hues. This particular image has to be dark and dreary.
Perfect.
You can
Just
change the
make
base.
stove
So
and
that's the first
black.
one.
Make it white
That's on the
with
first-
green trim.
That first
yeah,
paragraph.
first run, but we
So now you can say,
definitely don't want a purple beak.
I want it, yeah, I don't want the purple beak, I want it of horizontal cut, I want,
No,
just start
squares-
giving it feedback.
Square's fine.
Yeah.
And then,
Did you give it an image, or is this
Nope.
just okay? Wow.
Is this your
Okay.
story?
Mhm.
The story that you
so a golden conure.
Yes.
So feathers are right or not?
No, and it
No.
doesn't have a black beak. So bone. I don't know if you can say bone beak. Maybe gray would be better. Say gray.
I'm just curious to watch you go through it because it's fascinating how adapt it becomes.
Right.
And it becomes fun.
Based on the understanding
Mhm.
the assignment. It's like giving an assignment.
How do you spell conure?
C O
Keep
N
everything
U R
the
E.
same in this picture except for make the chimney to the stove black.
I wonder if you put its scientific name, if it would help it.
You can just give it feedback on
Okay.
specific elements and it'll
Okay.
run with that. And if that's not Pixar enough, you can say crank up the Pixar level. It's a good looking photo.
Isn't that good?
Oh,
Is
yeah.
that still in the animation style, or it is?
Nice.
Yeah.
It's starting to become photorealistic.
Is that what it looked like?
Yeah.
Ooh,
I need to say Pixar because it's been a while.
like that.
Yeah, it looks like that.
Let's see what it does with that.
So I'm gonna save that one.
And because we told it was an illustrator for a children's book, it's talking to you differently. Like it's saying all of those qualities that make it special to Lou. Like if it was somebody you hired to do that job, they would encourage like your storytelling.
Oh, okay.
If you didn't give it that mask, it would say, "Okay, here's your image."
Really?
Yeah. If you don't want the frilly language, you can say, "Knock it off. I
picking up
just need you to be a
Anthony's
computer
voice.
program for me." It will do that. Or if
Wow.
it's too analytical. And now that it's in your phone, we could talk to it. Like if you don't want to type anymore, we don't have to type anymore. We can just flip this over to the phone and you can pick up right where you left off here and just use your
Really?
microphone.
I want a picture.
That's what mom, she was like, I just give
Yeah,
me
I
the
mean,
microphone.
I've hardly typed because I'm always talking on
Yeah.
the phone.
Yeah. Let's try it this way.
Oh, okay. I definitely want to be able to save to my computer.
Yeah. And, but once it's done either places, like you could save it on the one you just did here, you could find the session here and save it to your phone, or the things that you do on your phone, you find it here and save it to your computer.
That's amazing.
It's linked like that.
Okay, so we have a subscription,
Awesome.
And I can do this
A subscription to what? Because I'm filming you.
ChatGPT for.
Oh,
We went a little over on the
wait a
Luana.
minute. Little too much Southwest. But hey, I like the look. But we lost the bird.
And the bird's gone.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
How do you send it back to the first image?
You can either save this with the download there, and then at the very bottom, you attach a file with the clipboard, with the clippy clip.
Can I create a folder?
Okay, so now we go up to the corner, and we find this session, which is illustration review today, burp, and everything's there.
Wow.
So what we can do,
That's cool.
you could download it here and use that as an attachment. Say based on this template, do that, or just hit the microphone and say, all right, we need the parrot back. The woman character is great. Not so much Southwest element on the woman, but more about the background, like whatever notes you want to give it, but in real time talking.
Okay. All right. All right. So that would have been closer to what we were looking for.
Yeah. So if you click that,
This one?
yeah, you could save that.
Oh,
And
that's
then at
so
the bottom,
hilarious. Is
the
that what
little
you
one
wanted?
file
That's what I
below
That's
you can
it?
take photos. You can choose whatever you
Silly.
photo. But the middle one is,
Oh
image
man, you're bringing those memories to life.
to have a bone-colored beak and a yellow tail with a Southwest
Landscape?
background. Oh, I like landscape better.
That might be
Landscape in the backyard with a. No, I'm not gonna do it. Let's just see what it does.
See what it does with that. Yeah. And honestly, I love talking to AI. I would much rather talk to AI than type it out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Creating the image. Okay. All right. So I'm getting the hang of this.
This is
Yeah, it doesn't take
so
long to get up to
cool.
speed.
Look at that.
And then this
you'll-
prompt should also
Yeah,
update.
I can see why you're doing it the way you are, and then setting it up on the laptop and then moving over to the phone. I can see
And
why
then
there's a
you can
benefit.
bounce back and forth. So your text is over here. You
Right.
can do it in here and then paste the next one.
Right, because it shows up in the same place.
Yeah.
And that's because of the subscription?
Yeah. The imagery.
Cute. I need longer hair though. But yeah. Ooh. That's really pretty.
Okay. Well. So maybe I have a picture of the bird for a children's book using the
Pixar style.
Pixar style. Yeah, it's a lot better just talking to it.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting how they did all this.
And then I just refresh here whenever that changes. Just do that little circle up there. So when you're ready to move on to the next prompt.
That's cute.
Aw.
Oh, I love that. It's just that it's getting my hair wrong. Why is it doing short hair all the time?
Oh, there you are.
With four
Isn't
birds.
that
It's
great?
like-
But they wanted to, yeah, but they want to do black beaks every time, black beaks, and now
Uh-huh.
4 birds, and no, well, I don't know.
but this is a new one. He
There's
fed it an
there's
image and said, do you,
Oh,
My
yeah.
dear family.
Bambi's family.
That's really pretty.
We had a baby mountain
We
goat.
need 3 birds.
Isn't that cute?
Oh,
Not a Pixar look. I like the Pixar look.
that's fine, but they never have ever had black beaks. I'm
right.
just saying, it has to be right in some respect.
Right, yeah.
I didn't get it right at all.
Okay, what I would do is say focus on the beaks and turn them gray.
Just say gray, it's fine, better than
Or but what do you want?
Bone.
Or pink?
bone color, see what happens.
Actually, I want to go back to this picture. That one there, huh? Yeah. All right, so we're going back to the beginning. All right. Comma. Use this picture and cartoon it in the Pixar style with 3 golden conures with gray beaks.
It might be just doing a dark gray.
Well, it's homogenizing all birds, and like
Yeah.
probably a majority of birds have black or red
Yeah.
or pink beaks, and so
It would be bone would be the word that I would use.
no, that one's a little
Lighter.
better. I don't know
Try
what that left image is.
try bone beak.
I like this picture, period. Remove 1 parrot and focus on the beaks, period. The beaks should be bone color.
Interesting. But still though, doesn't like the messing with the beaks, but I like the cartoon style a lot. That's awesome.
At least it's not black. It's paying attention. If you say focus and make it more pink or something.
Okay, try that. Say very nice. Thank you. Now let's make the beak colors pinker.
Interesting.
Oh, it just made the birds bigger. Interesting.
And there's the 3rd bird, but they
There's-
didn't do.
Extra feet.
Yeah. You could just regenerate that command, like correct if we do this here.
Let's go back.
So it's making them look more like sun conures. That's what those look like. With the banded eyes.
Let's focus on the beak color to make it more.
Ooh, love that.
Okay, that is definitely a sun conure, but I love the style
Okay.
So let's.
of the Pixar image.
Okay. Now, based on that, you can do that, and it'll add on to
Okay.
whatever this conversation
Right,
was.
that's cool though. Like the background.
Yeah, you just have to be persistent.
Very... Huh.
And it has the whole information of the internet to draw from.
Mm-hmm.
So it goes general to more specific as you go along.
But that's what I meant the whole time, that it's gonna pull every bird
Every
out
bird
of,
picture.
not this one, because this one isn't out there as much.
Hmm.
All right. I'll feel it.
The black beak thing.
Yeah. It's, I don't know why it's not getting it.
Yeah, Easter eggs in there. And it made them cockatoos. Cream? You say cream color?
Within this same prompt, if you say good, please remember this as the basic style of what I want this subject to be. It should be able, as it goes through the whole session, be like, all right, like this, we like this, we like this. Keep doing this. This is why it's able to, Mom doesn't have to tell it every time to do Pixar or animation. She's just saying, I like that. I like that. This is good. We're doing. And so it brings up more of those elements over time while we're in this session, right? If we went to a different session, it would start all over again.
But you can always go back to the session?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you want to constantly do this, you could make a GPT that has all of these ground rules baked into it, so that when you reapproach it, you don't have to refresh its memory as to what it was doing.
Yeah, to get a style going.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's nice to have on the computer too. I can type that
Exactly.
out and just paste that in when
Yeah.
I do it.
When you start.
You would want the same style.
Yeah, and when you're done with this, say, hey, please type me a prompt that I could just feed back to you to remind you where we were left off.
There you go.
And it'll say, quote, we were doing this, doing this, doing this, doing this, doing this.
Okay.
Grab that, put that in the thing, and then when you fire a new one up, say, hey, this is the prompt I was told to put back to you to remind you where we're at.
Okay.
It probably realizes it's not getting it right, so it's putting a little more thought into like how to do it right. That last 2% is all about the beak color.
Oh, did we break it?
No, I was just thinking how to do that.
I was thinking hard.
Okay.
Too pink?
Oh my goodness. It just doesn't look anything like the last. Is that what it's asking?
Yeah.
So I'll give you another way to say it.
No. We're not getting any closer. We're getting farther away.
A little more neutral. It took out the hot pink, made it more not so pink. It's getting closer.
Getting closer.
So is it fine tuning the beak and then it'll go back to the full image?
We'll see.
Oh, okay.
I think we are training it in a way that it will understand what you mean by this bird.
Okay.
So going forward, it should be able to knock it out. But I also want to see what it does with your narrative.
Right,
Like
right.
in
Me
terms of
too.
moving
Because
forward.
I'm curious.
Because the beak, we can change that. That's not a big deal.
Because it's pulling information from the internet, right?
Mhm.
Like, yeah. So then it should be able to do that. No. It's interesting that it can't do that.
Give me a picture of an old-fashioned tractor trailer and a potato patch. I just finished frog racing. You want to see my frog racing?
We used to play with frogs all the time.
You're cracking us up over here.
Well, I had to move because it was getting Chuck and Anthony's instructions.
Yes, I know. You just got to get comfortable when you make these. That's cute.
Thank you.
Yep.
Tag ringer washer on a cabin, front porch, in color Pixar style.
Just picture style-wise.
Yeah,
see.
yeah.
It's shaping up, shaping up, shaping up.
This looks like a parakeet. But it's really struggling with that golden conure.
It's cool. That is too cool.
It does look like a movie poster.
Describe it to me.
It's the old Maytag gas style ringer washer.
Old Maytag gas ringer style washer. And then we'll find the real image.
So it would be like one of those old ones. Yep, like probably this one would work. Probably that one, vintage, the old vintage one there. Yeah.
That one?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so what I would do is I'd take a picture of this.
Uh-huh.
Siri's gonna act a little differently.
Right.
Come in here and edit it to just the image.
Uh-huh.
Save it.
Yeah.
Use this image of a washer, but put it on a rustic cabin porch. So we're combining
Yeah.
a real photo with the prompt and then upload that. We'll see how it does with it.
Isn't it fun, Chuck?
Yeah, I was having a hard time with the bird though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Are you doing
Kinda like
dialogue or are
everyone
you only doing pictures?
He's working on fine tuning.
He's trying to force feed it images to help it out. And
Yeah.
it's, it's a slow process. When you're down to detail, like
Yeah.
it's good broad strokes and it'll get you there. So, like if you need a different colored beak or
Yeah. No?
what year was
You're
this?
too
one?
specific about your appliances, Mom.
Maybe a 1950s.
Oh, that's nice with the golden retriever.
Oh,
And sometimes it just takes
I
brute force.
love that. Maybe I should get my hair done like that. Not bad.
For real. This is gonna get you close. We'll have to refine
Yeah,
it.
that's
It's
really
like, if you get too
sweet.
hung up on details, it's gonna drive you nuts.
I know.
This is kind of
that's pretty.
steampunk here, but it's better.
Did you throw antique in there?
No,
the
I
word?
didn't, but I will.
Maybe
I put
try
that-
it.
I had that it stood on legs.
Yeah, say antique before anything.
Okay.
That was fun. What did we learn?
That was fun, Anthony. I almost finished my book. I just need dialogue. I have beautiful pictures, much better than I could have imagined. It's wonderful.
Yep.
And I need to go a few more rounds with ChatGPT, but I think it's going to be really useful and helpful.
There's a learning curve both from the computer side and the human side. We're not plugging into our brains yet, but we're negotiating our protocols. And as long as we stick with broad strokes, we kind of get what we need out of it for the moment and then just hammer into the details and kind of teach each other how to speak to one another.
Yeah.
That's where we're at.
That's fun. Wonderful. Technology is improving so quick, guys. I don't know if we can stay ahead of it, but we're trying. All right. Can't wait to see your
It's
books.
gonna outlive me.
Can't wait to see what you come up with.